Biden and Trump are dead, politically speaking. But let's talk about Claudia De la Cruz, who's running against them. Here's everything you need to know about her in less than 2 minutes. I'll save my opinion till the end. Claudia was born in the South Bronx in New York to immigrants from the Dominican Republic. She has no Wikipedia page, but this site says she was born around 1980, putting her at about 43 years old. She speaks these 3 languages. She graduated from John Jay College of Criminal Justice with a degree in forensic pathology. She has a master's in social work from Columbia and another in divinity from Union Theological Seminary. Claudia founded an organization called the Urban Butterflies, which helped girls and young women of Dominican and Puerto Rican descent learn leadership, community activism, and empowerment. For 8 years, she was the pastor of the Santo Romero de las Americas Church, and she is now the co-executive director and co-founder of the People's Forum, a social political movement incubator in New York City. Several websites say she is a mother, but after 2 hours of research, I found no information on the age or name of her child, or any info about her spouse or partner. So if you have a source, please leave a comment. Claudia has actively participated in these campaigns. Claudia De la Cruz is running for President of the United States as a third-party candidate for the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Her vice president would be Karina Garcia, a fellow organizer and educator. Their slogan is "End capitalism before it ends us." Here's what they want to do if they get elected. They want to seize the biggest 100 corporations and turn them into public property, basically reorganizing society to guarantee all people's needs are met. They want quality health care, education through college and beyond, free child care, decent housing, and a livable wage with union representation to become constitutional rights. They want all income and assets over $10 million to be subject to a 100% tax with no exceptions or loopholes, including all offshore profits. And they want all debt associated with student loans, bail bonds, medical, and utility bills to be canceled. They say they want to overthrow the dictatorship of the rich by abolishing the Supreme Court, the Senate, and the banker-controlled Federal Reserve. They would disband the FBI, CIA, and NSA, and they'd replace mass incarceration with a justice system aimed at rehabilitation and reintegration into the community. They want to outlaw corporate lobbying and ban all politicians from serving on any corporate board or holding an executive position at any private company after leaving office. They want elections to be publicly funded, no more Wall Street bailouts. They plan to lock up corporate capitalists and war criminals, and they want to cut the military budget by 90%. And close the vast network of military bases maintained by the Pentagon around the world. They say this money would be redirected to provide economic relief to working class Americans. I'm sorry I'm over 2 minutes, but 1 more minute. They would lift economic sanctions on these countries. They would cut aid to Israel. They would provide reparations and investments in black communities, expand affirmative action programs, and address the huge disparity in maternal mortality rates for black women. Police found guilty of racist brutality would be given longer prison sentences. They want abortion to be available without restrictions and at no cost. And they want to implement programs that address the epidemic of violence against women. They want full equality for LGBTQ people in all areas of society. They want to address climate change by taking over fossil fuel corporations and transitioning them to renewables. Large agriculture corporations would be seized and turned over to farmers who would implement a democratically determined plan to reorganize food production to be more sustainable. They want to massively expand public transportation. And last, they want to implement massive infrastructure projects to make society more resilient to climate change and create millions of good-paying jobs. Phew! So what do I think? What do you think? I think that there is a lot of courage in this campaign. Do American voters have that courage? I don't know. It's clear that we need radical change to our society. Most informed people can see that we're headed toward a cliff, economically, environmentally, and there are many Americans who can see that the Republicans and the Democrats are not prepared to lead us into the future. We don't see this kind of courage from the Democrats and the Republicans because they are owned by the corporate elites. And there are powerful incentives for them to keep the system just the way it is. What Claudia De la Cruz wants to do is completely upend the system. I personally think that's what we need. This is a revolutionary campaign. However, revolution and this kind of systemic change is still unpalatable to many Americans. This campaign is asking voters to go against everything they know about third parties and our voting system on a leap of faith, really. And to many Americans, that will be risky. I think older people who vote in higher numbers in elections will find this campaign risky. But many voters feel like they don't have a home with the Republicans or the Democrats. Those who have been most marginalized, those who have been most left behind by this country, can see that these two parties do not represent the working class anymore, if they ever did. And we're confronted with a very difficult decision. I saw Claudia speak in Washington Square Park a few weeks ago, and she was incredible. There was a fire in her. She's a role model, she's a leader, and I trust her. But my excitement is subdued by the limitations of voting third party. With the Electoral College and without ranked choice voting or a popular vote mandate, a third party candidate cannot win. They are a spoiler, a protest vote. By voting for Claudia De la Cruz, you will send a message, but one with potentially dire consequences for all of us if it results in a Republican being elected. I also think there's an issue with Americans voting for a socialist. I think the brand of socialism is a tough sell here in America. I feel like she would have a better chance if she was running for a different party, the working class party or the revolution party or just something else. I know some of you will disagree with me on that, but that's just how I feel. I personally haven't decided what I'm going to do with my vote. A part of me is still holding on to the hope that Biden and Trump might pass away of old age before next November. Isn't that sad? But I truly think that would be the best thing that could happen for America. The whole world would rejoice.